Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you so much.
Join us at Like Learning School and experience a transformative education journey. Visit our website at www.likelearningschool.com or contact us at +2348085095144 to learn more and get started today.
Motion of a skydiver. Listen and see how this plays out. Now, a skydiver, let's go look at stage one. Stage one. Please hold on for this. No air resistance. You know, to have air resistance acting on you, you need to be in motion. Friction in air can only act when something is moving. So when something is not moving, when an object is not moving at all, what will be the value of the air resistance?
Zero.
Zero. Why do I need to define each of these letters I'm using? R stands for what? No, R stands for air resistance. M stands for what? Mass. What else? W stands for? W stands for what? W stands for what? Weight. What other force have I used? Okay, now let me introduce F. F will now be the resultant force. The resultant force, okay?
Yeah.
You already know that A stands for acceleration, isn't it? You know how we find W from mass? You know how we find W from mass? Okay, I said the first stage is when the object is about to start falling. About to start what?
Falling.
What is the only force acting?
Weight.
Why is there no air resistance?
Because
It hasn't started moving yet. So the only force acting is weight. The only force acting is what?
Weight.
Alright, let's get the resultant force. You know how to find resultant force? Pardon? No, you can actually find resultant force without an angle. Yes, there are only two forces acting, weight and this resultant force, which is actually zero. No, sorry, weight and this air resistance, which is actually zero. Thank you for the observation. So what is the resultant force? The resultant force is weight minus W minus air resistance. Please listen very attentively. You know that resultant force is the net force of a system of forces. Do you need me to remind you again? You need to be reminded again? Okay, let me just run a very quick revision. Very quick revision. You know this, just so that you won't be confused again, because you were asking another question. Watch me, listen very attentively. If you have a force like this, 20 Newton, and you have another force here, 5 Newton. What's the resultant force? 15 Newton. Did you need an angle? You didn't need an angle. 20 minus 5 is 15 Newton to the right. Yes, here the resultant force, let's check it. The only force acting is weight. Air resistance is zero. So the resultant force is what?
100 minus 0.
100 minus 0, which is
100.
100. So it's 100 Newton downward, if you like. Okay, now from F equal to MA, please pay attention. From F equal to MA, what's the acceleration? A is equal to F over M, is it not? Which gives us, what's the substitute values? What's F?
100.
What's M? Which is 100 divided by 10, is it not?
Yes.
Because the mass is 10, the force is 100, and that gives us what?
10.
Approximately 10 meters per second squared, 10 meters per second squared. Now, when an object is just about to fall, or falling freely without air resistance, without what?
Air.
This is the acceleration. We call that acceleration of free fall. The actual value is about 9.81. It's actually or 9. What did I say you should use? 9.81 meter per second squared. That is the actual value, approximately, approximately 10. But you can use 10 when you're asked to use 10. But if you're not asked to use 10, use this actual value. What did I say you should use?
9.8.
Now, sometimes you may be asked, what is the acceleration when an object is about to fall? Listen very attentively. What's the acceleration? 9.81 meter per second squared, or 10 meter per second squared. Why? Because it's a free fall. It is what?
Free fall.
And what's the value of the acceleration of free fall?
9.81
Per second squared. 9.81 meter per second squared, or 10 meter per second squared, which is also the value of the gravitational field strength. Did you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, please watch this. This is also the value of the gravitational field strength. The gravitational field strength on Earth, please, is 10 Newton per kilogram. That's why whenever we are finding weight, we multiply it by 10, is it not? I said gravitational field strength is what? 10 Newton per kilogram. Gravitational field strength, we represent it with a G.
Because it's a G.
Small letter G. G is 10 Newton per kilogram. This is G too. Did you hear me? Did you hear me? Okay, please listen very attentively. Listen very attentively. This first stage, I think, let me zoom this in a bit. Zoom out. I need you to see it properly. I need to run a summary on this. I need to run a summary on this. I said when a skydiver is about to fall, or any object is falling through air, for the first stage of the fall, when it's just about to fall, there's no air resistance. There's no air resistance. So the only force acting is weight. So resultant force, which is F, will be 100 minus 0, because air resistance is 0, which is 100 Newton. And from F equal to ma, you know first F equal to ma. That's Newton's second law. A will be equal to F over m, which is 100 over 10, or 10 meter per second squared. And it is also the value of the gravitational field strength on Earth. On Earth, right? Of course, that's the value on Earth. That's the value on Earth. On Earth. It is the value on Earth. Now let's look at another stage. Watch me. Are you listening to me? Remember, this thing has an acceleration. You had better see this. You had better see this. I hope you know that this thing has an acceleration.
Yeah.
What's the value of the acceleration? What does that mean? What does that mean? It is moving faster. You know, if something has an acceleration, it means it is moving faster, isn't it? It's moving what? Faster. It's moving faster. Okay, so let's see a second stage. Second stage of the motion. Let's see. We will see. We will see. Stage 2. Look at stage 2. Look at stage 2 is something you will appreciate. Look at stage 2. Is this same object, the same object having a mass of what? The object has a mass of what now? Tell me. 10 kilograms. And so its weight is what? Its weight is what? 100 Newton, because the weight is mass times G, is it not? Remember, to get weight, you simply do weight is equal to M times G, and I've told you what G is, approximately 10 Newton per kilogram, approximately 10. So you just multiply the mass by G. Okay, so the weight is 100 Newton. Now, watch this. This is very important. This is very important. What is the value of the resultant force now? It has started. What's the value of the air resistance now? It has started moving. It has started moving because it is even speeding up. How do I know that it's speeding up?
Because its acceleration is increasing.
It has an acceleration. It's accelerating, so it's speeding up. It is speeding up.
Yes.
It is what? It is what? Speeding up. I said something about factors that affect air resistance. We talked about them. We talked about them earlier. I said, what did I say? To do what? Reduce air resistance. What should you do? Reduce cross-sectional area or reduce speed. That means to increase air resistance, what should you do? Increase sectional area and increase speed. Please take note of this. There are two factors that affect air resistance. What are they? Cross-sectional area and speed. How does cross-sectional area affect air resistance?
The lower the cross-sectional area, the lower the air resistance, and vice versa.
Not vice versa. The lower the cross-sectional area, the lower the air resistance. The higher the cross-sectional area, not necessarily vice versa. The higher the cross-sectional area, the higher the air resistance. Also, talk about it in terms of speed. Talk about it in terms of speed.
The higher the speed,
The higher the speed,
and the lower the speed, the lower the air resistance.
the higher the speed, the higher the air resistance. The lower the speed, the lower the air resistance. So if that is true, tell me what is going to happen to the air resistance here. Tell me. This is now where it is going to play out, and you had better listen to it. You had better listen to it. You told me that it was accelerating in the first stage. You told me it's accelerating in the first stage. What does it mean for something to accelerate?
It gets faster.
It moves faster. The speed is increasing. The speed is what?
Increasing.
So what will it do to the air resistance?
It will increase the air resistance.
It will increase the air resistance as well.
Correct, sir.
Yes, you need a high five. Good. It will increase the air resistance. So now, what was the air resistance initially? What was the air resistance initially? I'm asking you, what was the air resistance initially?
Zero.
Zero now. It was initially zero.
So I can end the battle.
It was initially zero. So it's going to increase the air resistance from zero. Give me any value that it can be. Any value, doesn't matter.
12.
Okay. Let's even say 20.
20.
Let's say the air resistance now has increased to 20 Newton. From where? From what to 20 Newton?
From 0 to 20.
0 to now 20 Newton. Again, why did the air resistance increase? Speed has increased, so air resistance has increased. Now let's find the new resultant force. Let's find the new resultant force. F is equal to what?
F is equal to M.
W minus R, which is equal to F is equal to W minus R, which is what?
100 minus 10.
Just a moment. W minus R, which is 100 minus 20. 100 minus 20, isn't it? And what does that give you?
8.
80 Newton. Okay, so if it is 80 Newton,
Yeah.
let's find the acceleration.
Yes, we can.
Can we? From F equal to MA, what's the acceleration? A is equal to what? Give me, A is equal to what? F over A now, is it not?
F by M.
F over M. F over M. What's the F?
F is
80 Newton over 10. 8 meters per second squared.
Yes.
Good. Please, I need you to to tell me what has happened.
It has decelerated.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
This is still an acceleration. It's still positive.
I know, but the acceleration is lesser.
Good observation.
So it's decreasing acceleration.
It's decreasing acceleration. This is a decreasing acceleration. This is a decreasing acceleration. Now, please listen up. This is very, very important. Why did the acceleration decrease?
Because the air resistance. Because the air resistance increased.
Now, you need to explain it properly. The air resistance increased, and because the air resistance increased, the resultant force decreased. And because the resultant force decreased, the acceleration decreased. This is still an acceleration. No? This is still an acceleration. Why did I say it's still an acceleration? Because it's positive.
Yeah.
What does it mean? It's still an acceleration, which means the object is still moving faster. Alright, okay, we can see that. First of all, let's look at it properly. The acceleration has decreased. Why did the acceleration decrease?
Because the air resistance increased.
Air resistance increased, and so the resultant force decreased. It was initially 100 Newton. Remember, the resultant force was initially what? 100 Newton. This is the initial resultant force. From 100 Newton, it decreased to 80. And because the resultant force has decreased, what did it affect?
The acceleration.
Acceleration also decreased. It is still an acceleration. It is still an acceleration. It's just that it is a decreasing acceleration. It is what? Decreasing acceleration. Please, it is still an acceleration, which means it's still moving faster. I hope you know. It is still moving faster, but now at a slower rate. Okay, so the acceleration has decreased. Since it is still moving faster, since it is still doing what?
Moving faster.
What will happen to the air resistance? It's still moving faster.
We
Yeah.
increase.
We still increase. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
The air resistance will still increase. The air resistance will still do what?
Increase.
Okay, let me jump to a stage where the air resistance increases so much. Let's call that stage 3. Now the air resistance has increased. I will repeat this again. Let me repeat this diagram. What's the value of the mass? Still think G, right? Now the air resistance has increased. Give me any value. Okay, let me just say it has increased to 100 Newton, so that we don't waste so much time repeating the process. What's the value of the weight again? 100 Newton. That's stage 3. Are you ready? Okay, so let's find the resultant force. What's the resultant force? W minus air resistance, which gives us what? 100 minus 100, which is what? 0 Newton. The resultant force is what? The resultant force is 0 Newton. Do you agree?
Yeah.
The resultant force is what? 0 Newton. Let's find the acceleration. From F equal to ma, acceleration is equal to force over mass, is it not?
Yes, sir.
By the way, what does this F stand for? What does this F stand for? Okay, so let's work it out. That's equal to what over what? Let's work it out quickly. That's what over what? Yes, what's the force? What's the force?
0 Newton.
0 over what?
Over
10. What's 0 over 10? What will it give you?
0.
And what's the implication of that? Are you sure? 0 over 10 is 0. That's 0 meter per second squared. No. It's something over 0 that is mass error.
Yes.
0 over anything is 0. So 0 over 10 is 0. 0 over 10 is what?
0.
What's the implication of having a 0 acceleration?
It's constant.
Correct! So it's going to be moving at a constant speed. Who am I going to give a high five? Okay, on behalf of the person that got it. All right, please. This stage is a very important stage.
It starts decelerating.
No, it's not decelerating. Let's talk about it. At this stage, since yes, here we are. Since acceleration is equal to 0, right? What does it mean? The object is moving at a constant speed. Moves at a constant speed. That constant speed is what we call a very important name. We call that terminal velocity.
Terminal velocity.
Constant speed called terminal velocity. Did you hear that?
Yes, sir.
So, watch this. Since acceleration is 0, the object moves at a constant speed called what?
Terminal velocity.
Please, watch me. Why does it move at a constant speed?
Because
Because zero acceleration.
Why is it a 0 acceleration?
Because it equals to zero.
Resultant force is 0. How do we know that resultant force is 0? Air resistance is equal to weight. You don't say resultant force is equal to air resistance. In other words, weight has balanced air resistance. Weight has balanced air resistance. So resultant force is 0. That means acceleration will be 0. Therefore, the object will be moving at a constant speed, which is called terminal velocity. Can you tell me now? It is moving at a constant speed. Can air resistance increase?
yes.
What are the factors I said can increase air resistance?
Speed and
Cross-sectional area. But it's moving at a constant speed now.
so air resistance will be constant.
Air resistance will be constant as well. Because it is moving at a constant speed, and we said that the factors that affect air resistance are speed and cross-sectional area. Since the speed is not changing, we say constant speed, terminal velocity, air resistance will also not change if it is only about speed. So how else can we change the air resistance? We need to change the cross-sectional area. We need to do what? What can we do to the cross-sectional area to increase air resistance? Increase the cross-sectional area. So we need to increase cross-sectional area. That's why the parachutists will open the parachute. The parachutists will open the parachute. The parachutist has to open the parachute like this. Watch this. So we call that stage 4. Stage 4, the parachutist will open the parachute. Watch this. You know, when you open the parachute, listen up. What you are doing is you are increasing cross-sectional area. It's still, see the way I showed that the cross-sectional area has increased from this small cross-sectional area that it had all through stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Now the cross-sectional area has increased. Parachute has been opened. And you said that air resistance will increase, isn't it? Give me a value for the air resistance. Let's even say 150. Let's say the air resistance increases to say 140 Newton. What's the value of the weight? The weight is still 100 Newton, isn't it? The weight is still what? Alright, let's find the resultant force. By the way, the mass is still 10 kg. I hope you know. Okay, so resultant force F is what? Please give me the resultant force. Weight minus air resistance. Do you know why you have to say weight minus air resistance? Because the direction of motion should be positive. The opposite direction should be negative. Which one is in the direction of motion? W. It is moving downwards now, is it not? So W will still be plus. Air resistance will still be minus. Even though air resistance is bigger. Are you listening now?
Yeah. Yes, no, I'm listening.
So I said to find the resultant force, we still need to do W minus R. Even though the air resistance is bigger. Because it is motion, force in the direction of motion is always positive. Force in the opposite direction of motion will be negative. So W is in the it is moving downward. So direction of motion is weight. Opposite to the direction of motion is air resistance. So that's why weight is positive. Air resistance will always be negative. Okay. So let's solve the mass. That gives us what? 100 minus 140, which gives us minus 40 Newton.
The thing keeps decreasing and decreasing.
Now what is minus 40 Newton? Let's get the resultant force. Let's get the acceleration. Let's get the acceleration. So acceleration will be what? F over m now, is it not?
Yeah.
What is the force? What's the resultant force? Minus 40 over 10. And that gives you what? Minus 4 meter per second squared. So this is now deceleration because it is giving us a negative acceleration. You know, a negative acceleration means deceleration. So what does that mean? The skydiver will now be slowing down. The skydiver will now be slowing down. Okay, because the skydiver is slowing down, he's doing what?
Slowing down.
He's doing what?
Slowing down.
Well, how do we know that he's slowing down? How do you know that he's decelerating? It's negative acceleration. Negative acceleration is deceleration. Okay, if it is slowing down, watch me. What do you think will happen to air resistance? The air resistance will do what?
Decrease.
Why will it decrease? Speed is reducing. Okay, so let's see now the final stage, which is stage 4, stage 5.
Oh my God. Yes.
Stage 5.
Yeah.
See, the parachute is still opened. The parachute is still opened the way it is. The mass is still 10 kg, right?
Yeah.
Now give me a value of the air resistance now. No, you told me the air resistance will decrease.
120. 120. 120. Put it at 120.
You told me that the air resistance will decrease.
Put it at
By the way, why did you say the air resistance will decrease?
Because
Put it at 120.
Because speed is decelerating. It's decelerating.
Put it at 120.
Speed is reducing, so air resistance will also reduce. Okay, so please, so that we don't have to have many stages, let me just decrease the air resistance to 200 Newton. Did you hear me?
Yes, sir.
The air resistance has decreased to 100 Newton.
Yes,
To
sir.
what?
100 Newton.
From what to 100 Newton?
From 140 Newton.
From 140 Newton to 100 Newton.
Yes. Doesn't that mean the weight and what is it equals to the
Beautiful. What's the weight?
weight?
You need a high five. Good.
Okay.
Let's see the weight again. What's the weight? 100 Newton. Let's see the resultant force. F is what? Give me the resultant force now. W minus R, which is
equals
100 minus 100, which gives me 0 Newton.
0 Newton.
So what's the acceleration? F over m, which is
equals
0 over 10, which is 0 meter per second squared. That, what does that mean?
The still decelerating to stop.
No, hold on. You don't say that. Now listen up. It is 0 meter. It's moving at another constant speed. This is the second terminal velocity, which is second terminal velocity.
That's really for the last stage. I don't understand.
Oh.
What is it?
Now with this terminal velocity, it can't change again. You have to drop with that. It will just drop down with that second terminal velocity. That's how the skydiver will fall. It's tiny, but these are the stages. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, and the last stage. Stage 1 is when it's just about to start falling.
Yes.
Air resistance is 0 because it hasn't started moving.
Yes.
It's only weight that is acting, so the weight is 100 Newton, giving us a resultant force of 100.
Yeah.
And so air acceleration is 10 meters per second squared. Stage 2, it is moving faster because of the acceleration.
Yeah.
So air resistance increases to 20 because as speed increases, it's moving faster. Air resistance also increases. Because the air resistance is increasing, what will it do to the resultant force? It reduces the resultant force to 80, is it not? Because the resultant force has reduced to 80, the acceleration also reduces to 8. It was initially 10, it reduces to 8. But it's still an acceleration. So air resistance will still increase further. So from 20, say it increases to 100 Newton, air resistance. Now at this stage, both air resistance and weight are now equal and opposite. 100 Newton and 100 Newton. So the resultant force is 0. The resultant force is 0 means the acceleration is 0, which means the first constant speed or terminal velocity. Now, the only other way we can increase air resistance is by opening the parachute, increasing the cross-sectional area. So the resultant force now increases to 140, for instance. When the resultant force increases to 140, for instance, you know, I say when the air resistance increases to 140, for instance, the resultant force is negative. Air resistance acceleration is negative, you know, so it's slowing down. And so because it's slowing down, air resistance decreases to 100 and it balances the weight again the second time, and we have second terminal velocity. I will just ask you to plot the graph. But what I will do is, you can plot the graph. Okay, let me assist you. It's very easy. Let me assist you. Let's draw this first stage. The first stage to the second stage. Watch it. From the first stage to the second stage, what happened to the acceleration? Are you sure? Look at the acceleration first stage to second stage. Decreasing acceleration. From 10 to 8. That's decreasing acceleration, right? Okay. All right. So the speed in meter per second against time. How will the graph go? No, you said it's decreasing acceleration.
Yes.
So how will the graph go?
Down.
Is it not how it will go? Sloping, decreasing slope. All right. Decreasing acceleration, the first stage. Do we agree?
Yes.
First and second stage. I represented that because from the second stage is constant speed. You said the stage is what?
Constant speed.
How do we represent the constant speed?
Straight line. Like this.
Beautiful. The first and second stage is decreasing acceleration. We have shown that. Third stage is constant speed. So how will the line go?
Straight.
You mean horizontal?
Yes.
So you have a horizontal line like this. Okay, let's look at the fourth stage.
Increasing deceleration.
Fourth stage is now decelerating, isn't it?
Yes. Increasing deceleration.
That is when it is -4, is it not?
Yes.
That the deceleration is -4. And if we had found out another stage, which I didn't want us to waste our time, you notice that it's going to form a line like this. What do you call this? For a velocity against time. Please define this. Define this motion from here to here. How is it? Is it a constant decreasing deceleration. This is no, this is decreasing now. It's not getting steeper. This is decreasing deceleration. So let's look at the final stage, stage 5.
Yeah.
Constant speed.
Constant speed, right?
Yes.
Which is the second terminal velocity.
Yes.
So how will the graph go?
Still with
Horizontal like this. So this is the first terminal velocity.
Yes, and that's the second one. Yes, yes. Yes, we know. Now we know.
First terminal velocity,
Yes.
Yeah. How do I even know?
and while this one is the second terminal velocity. By the way, this is what you get if it is moving through air.
Yes, sir.
But if it wasn't moving through air, it will just be no. It's not even another day. It's just one line. If it is moving through a vacuum,
The vacuum.
yes, that is without air resistance. Without air resistance, the acceleration will be constant. Did you see that? Velocity against time graph will produce what? A constant acceleration. Okay, so this first graph is for what? Motion with air resistance acting, is it not? While the second graph is motion without air resistance. This one is motion without air resistance. Motion in a vacuum. I think it makes sense.
Yes, sir.
Please describe this one for me, finally. What is this?
Acceleration.
When do you find this constant acceleration?
When there's no like resistance.
When there's no air resistance.
Yes, things, sir.
When there's no air resistance, motion in a vacuum without air resistance, you get this. Alright, I think that's a wrap. Okay, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you so much.
Welcome to Like Learning School, your premier online education platform. At Like Learning School, we are dedicated to helping students and learners unlock their full potential, providing them with the foundation, support, and guidance they need for academic excellence. Our platform caters to two main target audiences. Firstly, we work with school children of all ages, offering academic follow-up and accountability partnerships. Our seasoned tutors provide personalized attention to ensure students stay on track and reach their goals. Secondly, we support students and learners who are preparing for internal, external, entrance, or professional examinations. We offer comprehensive and well-structured support to help them achieve outstanding performance in their exams. Our robust virtual courses are designed to keep students engaged and motivated. With interactive videos showcasing our teaching sessions, students actively participate in the learning process, making education enjoyable and effective. But that's not all. We believe in personalized education. Our students have access to personalized tutorial sessions, whether online, physical, or hybrid, tailored to their unique learning needs. Join us at Like Learning School and experience a transformative education journey. Visit our website at www.likelearningschool.com or contact us at +234 808 509 5144 to learn more and get started today.